we hope for a great performance, and the way we're trying to accomplish that is going into camp, making sure we're focused on the fundamentals and all the things that kind of made us successful last season, but just trying to add a little extra oomph on it, making sure we're not getting complacent in our success from last season, but making sure we're just getting that much better.
I definitely have to agree. Just always improving every single day, focusing on what we can get better internally, focusing inward on this team, and just always pushing a little bit every single day.
Do you feel as though you have the pieces to replicate what you did last year, if not improve?
Absolutely, I definitely feel we have the pieces necessary. It's just about pushing ourselves, working towards that every single day. So.
Aaron, up next.
Arik, Coach has talked very highly of you and your abilities to kind of step up even more this upcoming season. How are you going to be able to do that? Kind of what is your focus?
Well, my focus in general as a leader on the team has always been to build professionals. And when I say that, to develop people to the point where they're able to understand how to develop themselves, how to learn, and whether it be at any position, how you go into the film room and watch film, and how you incorporate the things that the coaches give to you into your game. And I think that helps anybody a whole lot, because once you have a bunch of individuals on the team that can kind of regulate themselves and be a professional in that manner, it makes it a lot easier on everybody in the program.
Sal, up next.
Hey, Nolan, can you talk about holding people, the players and the team accountable as the role of a captain, basically, and how, Cedric and Markel were saying it's kind of a group effort, it's a team effort. How have you factored into that role? How you gotten accustomed to the role of being captain?
Yes, sir. I feel like it's always just like Cedric and Marquel talked about. It's just about we have a team of leaders, and especially when it's your own teammates, it can be difficult to hold each other accountable just because they're your peers. But always maintaining the standard that we have as a program. Like Coach Munkin always says, high expectations don't survive low standards. So we're trying to uphold the standard every single day in the little things, on the practice field, in the locker room, in the classroom, down in your company area, just everything we can do as a team, to uphold the standards that we have as a program. Ultimately, is going to lead to more success in the field, and just tying it all in together as leaders on the team. Everyone really in the senior class has had a part in that, and just maintaining the standard as a team. So.
Or can you talk about the inside linebacker group and what you've seen from them a little early? I know with John Radigan's graduation, there's guys that will be stepping up into roles, and what have you seen from your group early?
Well, I'm really impressed with the inside linebacker group because, as you said, it is difficult with having John leave, which was a big part of our defense last year. I think a lot of people, everybody in the room has stepped up and tried to understand the schemes that we run and try to really make it a part of themselves so they can be as good as they could possibly be on the field for us performance-wise.
Ken Kreitzer.
Well, good afternoon, Arik and Nolan. Good to see you both. Maybe ask each of you to talk about how the defense matured last year with Coach Woody coming in, his influence, and how the team matured to be such an effective defense during the course of last season.
Yeah. Well, last year was a year that definitely matured. I know me personally, and it had to mature the team because we got back June 1st, and it made football a more personal experience, because in order to learn what we had to learn in order to be successful in our season, you really personally had to pay a lot of attention. We were learning our defense off of Zoom calls for the majority of the off season. And when we got back, it wasn't like the coaches could be on the field with us trying to install all this stuff because of the regular rules of the NCAA. So it was really on us as players to get an understanding of what this whole new defensive coaching staff was trying to install. And that was difficult, but it definitely added a lot of maturity to the team, which you can still see now today, just about how much people take it upon themselves to learn the defense. And it's a personal thing, not just it's a team effort, but it's also personal to people.
Thank you. Nolan?
I definitely agree with everything Arik just said. The way things were with COVID last year laid a lot of restrictions in our way and boundaries kind of to learn the defense, a new defense coordinator. And we really took it upon ourselves to ensure that everyone knew what they were doing so that we could be the best defense we could be. And I think on top of that, Coach Woody just does a great job of instilling a belief in us, and that motivates us to want to perform and to want to know our job so we can be the best at the end of the day. So.
Very good. And maybe just ask you both a little bit. I asked Coach Woody about you see a lot of very good offensive teams that like to throw the ball in college football today. You're going to see a few of them certainly this year. How you approach that when you've got very good athletes on the other side of the ball, especially a quarterback throwing the ball, wide receivers who are very fast. How do you approach that going into this year?
It's just about getting more into the details. As I had mentioned, we got back here June 1st of last year to prepare for the season. So at that point in time, we needed to get the fundamentals of the game installed, which was a lot of the run. We did a good amount of work on the pass, but it wasn't as much detail. But coming back into this year with the easing of COVID restrictions, we got a lot more time to be together as a team. And we're trying to work on those details of the pass game, which will allow us to be more successful against these teams that we might see that might throw the ball a little bit more than teams we've seen in the past.
Thank you.
Exactly what Arik said. I think this year moving into, obviously I'm not on the back end of things. So just they're working a lot on expanding everything they had last year into the pass game. And then up front, we're working on everything we can do to help them out in the pass game. So whether that's getting pressure on the quarterback, maintain it, keep them in the pocket, those sorts of things, knowing when to do what. And a lot of it just also comes down to the game plan and making sure everyone is tuned in every single week and just keeping the ball rolling. So.
Very good. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Any follow-ups?
Yes, if you don't mind. Cedric and Markel said a few minutes ago about having 4 defensive captains. I'm just curious because, traditionally you don't see defense stepping into offense as far as leadership and motivation, et cetera. How do you handle that delicate balance as far as addressing the offense, or do you really need the offense to have some, quote, unofficial captains?
I would say Markwell hit very well, and we do have a team full of leaders. So there are a ton of guys in the offense, as Cedric said, that are just as worthy of this position and are leading over there. And I'm confident that they're upholding the standards on the offense and pushing those guys daily. And as Markwell said, just on the defense, every chance we get on the field to compete with those guys, we're pushing them as much as we can. And then everything off the field, it's not like it's offensive defense. We're just one team. So those other things that we do as captains off the field, there's really just the team flows. So
yeah, I 100% agree with Nolan. We as captains, we're in charge of holding the standard and kind of pushing the culture of the team, making sure that's upheld. But that's not taking away from any of the leadership abilities or capabilities of the other people on the team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They are great leaders on that side of the ball, and they have expertise in that area. I for sure don't know everything that the quarterback does or the B-backs or the slot backs, but we have to trust them. And so far as we can see, they're doing a phenomenal job. It's just about trust. We're all, here together doing this thing together, and it's not just going to be us that's going to allow this team to be successful. It's going to be the people that surround us, and it just so happens that we have great people around us.
I also have an offensive question. Coach Monken and Coach Davis have both indicated that they're open to playing multiple quarterbacks in a game. As defensive people, for the most part, you guys faced one quarterback in games last year. Maybe there were some late replacements and such. But how challenging is it for you as defenders to all of a sudden have to face a new quarterback in a game?
Well, it depends on the team. For a team like a triple option team, facing a different quarterback doesn't change as much because normally it's the same schemes. You might have one quarterback that's used to throwing more. It actually might clear some things up because certain teams might have a certain guy who they use for a certain thing in the offensive game. They might use one for pass and might use one for run. So that clears some things up when they make substitutions. But other than that, if you have teams that have pretty much similar personnel at the quarterback position, it might be confusing as to what they're trying to do by making that switch. But that's about it for that.
So, I mean, since the coaches have prepped you well on the multiple quarterbacks, to you, you just say, they say, hey, it's quarterback B. This is what we do against them, right?
Yes, sir.